Hey guys, welcome back to the Becoming series, exploring the deep truths and the principles that would enable you become everything you were created to be and do. Right, so let's talk about dissatisfaction. Yeah, dissatisfaction. I think for most of us, at some point, we come to the realization that our lives haven't turned out the way that we expected them to. When we're kids, for most of us, we had this great, huge ideas of what we wanted to be and do in the future, right? And they were usually awesome things. One of the great things about being a child is that your imagination is unlimited. You can just think up something in a flash, and you can imagine yourself as that thing or as that person. And so for many of us, especially if you were unbridled, if you didn't have if there were no limits to your imagination, right? Or if you didn't grow up, if your immediate environment wasn't one that tried to stifle your dreams. We usually had ambitious ideas, right? But what happened to us? We grew up, and I think that's the problem. We grew up rather than, or rather, we grew old, not up. We grew old rather than grow up. And there's a difference between the two. You see, growing old is a function of biology. You know, time marches on, and you can't stop it. When you're born, the minute you're born, your cycle starts to run. You will grow up. You would develop. Um, you go older. You go through your puberty, pre-adolescence. You become a teenager. You get into your 20s, and then your 30s and your 40s, and then before you know it, you're middle aged. Time marches on inexorably, and nobody can stop it. Right? That is growing old. Growing old, there's nothing you can do about that. But growing up is a choice, right? And I think that's really what differentiates um, the people who have made a mark in the world and other people who haven't. Because for you to be able to make a mark in the world, you can't think like the normal person, right? When I say normal person, what I mean is that as we grow up, or rather as we grow older, right, we're exposed to the world around us, and the world tries its best, it tries its damnedest to teach us certain things. This is the reality of things. You can only do this, and you can't go any further. This is the way the world works, right? And for everybody who accepts those limitations, that is how our life turns out to be. We're confined in a box. But it is only those, and it is always those who decide to challenge the status quo, who decide to say that, look, there must be more to life than this, and break the chains and break the norms. Those are the people that actually get things done, right? Um, which leads me back to my point about dissatisfaction. You see, for most of us, we realize, whether we want to admit it or not, that we are dissatisfied with our lives. We're dissatisfied with the way we look, with the way we act, with the way we think, with the jobs that we're having, with the places that we're staying, with the amount of money that's in our bank accounts. We're dissatisfied with life, period. Why? Because we know deep down that there must be more to life than this. There has to be something more. This just can't be it. This can't be it. What happened to all those dreams that I had when I was young? What happened to all the great things I wanted to do and I could see myself doing? What happened to me? You grew old. You grew old, and you grew up. Growing old is a function of time and biology, but growing up is a choice. And when I say growing up or refusing to grow up, I'm not talking about doing your best to be mentally retarded. I'm talking about retaining that childlike faith. Children believe anything that you tell them. You just tell them something and they believe. And it is those with that sort of childlike faith that actually go on to do things in the world because they are crazy enough to believe that the things that they are seeing, no matter how outlandish it seems to other people, is possible. Dissatisfaction is the reality of mankind everywhere. 90% of the globe's population are dissatisfied with their lives because they sense deep within them that the true beauty of their life hasn't been explored and may never be explored. But that is the essence of becoming. You see, becoming is all about deciding to put your foot down and saying, hey, I know that my life has a much richer context, that I'm supposed to be so much more than what I'm currently displaying or manifesting. There's a much richer and greater life that is out there for me to grasp, for me to walk on. There's a richer path for me to tread, and I will become it. I will. See, when you make up your mind to decide to be who you truly are, that makes all the difference. Because everybody else or most people will continue to be compressed. They'll continue to be held by the chains that the physical eyes can't see. But for those of us who truly desire to live life to the fullest, we must decide to break the chains that hold us. If we're going to become the awesome person that is really us, after we realize that we are dissatisfied with what we are currently displaying, then we must take those steps that will lead us into the greater path. And it takes courage. It's not an easy thing to do. People will laugh at you, people will want to hold you back, even those that are closest to you. But at the end of the day, it is your life, not theirs. If there's anything that we must do before we leave this earth, it is to become the person that we were created to be. There's only one life to live, and it is not going to wait for you.